Hey now, what's up everybody? The only thing I've ever tried to do around here is to share some ideas and do so in a way that's informative and entertaining to give you the best show I can possibly do. Notice I said show and not content. I don't care about the algorithm and whatever corporate media is trying to push at us. I don't care about thumbnails and fancy edits and all that kind of stuff. Sure, that has its place, but it's not here. It's not what I want to do. So I'm trying to craft balanceFIT Radio into the kind of show that you want to come back and watch week after week. That's just kind of like a nice warm fleece blanket on a cold evening. So I brought Lacey back. She's going to be my co-host. We'll see. Maybe permanently, maybe not. She travels a fair good bit. And I'll have some other people pop in here as well. But the other thing I think I want to do just to keep everything authentic is no edits, no nothing. So what follows here, what you're going to see is the unedited version of the latest episode that we recorded. And the reason I bring this up is because all three of our dogs, her German Shepherd and my two Border Collies, were in the room with us, and it was chaos at times with squeaky toys and barking and all kinds of other stuff, which we thought was hilarious. I did edit two little pieces out that were just like 30 seconds of us when we both had to get up and leave the room to take care of the dogs, which was just dead air. So that's all I edited out of this. Other than that, I hope you enjoy it, have fun, and balanceFIT Radio is on.
He competed in the 60 Masters, 60s plus Masters. He was vying for first or second, but at the end of the day, he was so juiced, he dropped his farmer's carry twice. Otherwise, he would have won it. He ended up third, 60-year-old guy in the 60 Masters that transitioned out of CrossFit, and they live streamed it yesterday. And I was like, I just lay flat on my back and try to get up and move around a little bit here and there and cleaning a little bit and helping the cleaning ladies. So yeah, I'll turn it on. And yeah, I got to watch him. So that was pretty cool. I think it's really cool. I thought of you. I was like, why are all the people that I know 55 plus are not 55 plus, like legit at all? And it's my first major health scare. And here I am dying. Talk about we're all dying, Scott.
Hey, welcome back to the show. Stacy Fletcher.
Yep. Stacy's mom.
Stacy Fletcher. Lacey Fletcher. Hey, so how's it going?
Good, all things considered.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You had a bit of a time lately, haven't you?
I did.
You want to talk about it?
I mean, we can talk about it. When people ask me what happened, I'm like, the abridged version makes me sound like a total idiot that doesn't know how my body works. And like, how did you let it get that far? But the detailed version is like way too detailed of like my medical ongoings. So
TMI a little bit too much.
Yeah. I've kind of figured out a way to talk around it, but basically I was in the hospital for 5 days out in Kansas City.
What were you doing in Kansas City?
I was out there for a charity fundraiser called Big Slick. So it was this Friday night event because of FIFA and because of they cited the change in baseball schedule and the Savannah Bananas and whatnot. They couldn't do their charity baseball game, which they normally do. So they did an event this year called Just This Year. And it was literally 75% of the stars that were in, and under 300 tickets were sold. It was a very, very, very expensive ticket.
And if I recall correctly, this is a trip and an event about which you were very much looking forward, right?
Yes. So got to meet Jason Sudeikis, Ted Lasso, my favorite, Paul Rudd.
So you did get to meet.
I did get to meet him. I talked to him. It's not his fault. Don't want to say it's a don't meet your hero situation, but I tried to make a joke, and then when it didn't go, I doubled down, and the man wanted to stop talking to me. Like I could just immediately, and I was just like, I'm going to just, okay, bye. Thank you.
You just had a lead balloon situation, and you just rode the lead balloon into oblivion.
I crashed and burned, and like didn't even want to. It was a small enough room, and like people, but like I didn't even try to make eye contact with him for the rest of the evening.
What was the joke?
I told him if he wanted to. In poor taste, I practiced with a friend. It was supposed to be funny. I told him that at Thundergong next year, if he really wanted to raise some money, he should auction off his phone number So, and I would clean up my 401k if I needed to win it. So we could become text buddies, or I could shoot my shot or something. And he was like, and then I realized he didn't think I was joking. Yeah. And so I was sort of like, you don't have to say yes or no now. Like, it's for the children. Like, I just like started to try. And I was like, how does he, I thought he would like lean in and banter a little bit with me, like on the idea. I was like, you'll raise so much money. And and then I just had to bail. Like, I had to bail. But
oh my dear God, this backpack or this knapsack is not a parachute. Oh my God.
we're in shambles. But did get to meet a lot of other cool stars that were out there. I met Paul Rudd, who is just as lovely as they come. He's my height. Did not see that coming. And he did the whole like, hey, look at us. Who would have thought? Not me. You know, that thing that went viral. So I asked him if we could do that. And he went, and I was like, that's a no. That's fine. Respect. Like, no big deal. And he's like, no, it's just like, if you do it and then somebody sees it, other people are going to want to do it. And he's like, and then I'll be stuck doing that like all weekend. I was like, I completely get that. And I said, well, we don't have to record it. I just wanted to do that with you because that became a theme of one of my trips. So he said, okay, well, if you don't post it anywhere, we'll do it. So I got to do that back and forth with him. And then a lot of people I didn't even know were going to be there. So a really great event. The food was amazing. But at the same time, did not realize what kind of dire straits I was in and what my body was doing at the time. So the abridged...
Yeah, I got a couple of weird texts from you. I'm like, oh no.
The abridged, like, I swear I'm not a moron. There was a red herring in there, but I had a UTI that was misdiagnosed. So I stopped taking the antibiotics because you don't want to, like, I got the test back 3 days. They put you on antibiotics because it takes time for it to come back. And then they called me and said, you don't have one. So I stopped taking the antibiotics because you don't want to take antibiotics. You don't need them.
This was before you left for this
was before I left.
trip
Yep.
because we had a couple of sessions together. And
right.
For those of you who are listening and you don't know we had a couple of sessions together. Hey, Lacey is my personal training client. So yeah. We had a couple of sessions where you weren't feeling your best.
No. And I remember you put your hand on my forehead and said, like, you should be sweating and you're like clammy. Well, that was the beginning of it. So I stopped taking it and went, well, wow, why do I feel like I have a UTI? Like, what's going on? So there was another kind of red herring issue that was going on. And I thought I got that all taken care of and just sort of ignored, like, oh, they said I don't have a UTI. Well, it turns out I actually did. But all of the back pain and kind of like sweats and whatnot that were coming, I thought was from this other issue that I had resolved, but it was kind of traumatic. So it's not that I didn't know my body and I didn't know like I was in pain, but I had also like had this trip coming up and I was like, all right, let's just power through. I'll take some Tylenol, like a couple good days sleep. My body will go back to normal after this.
I want you to pause there because I want everybody to remember the words that you just said because we're going to come back to that.
Yeah.
For anybody who's over, let's say 30, powering through becomes a less viable option.
Yeah.
When you start getting down the road.
Yeah. So Thursday I was like freezing and then sweating and then freezing and sweating. And again, it all kind of was in line with this other thing that had nothing to do with what was really going on. Well, as it happens, UTIs, bladder infections, or just like tract infections, then turn into kidney infections. So I went into a kidney infection from there, which was terrible, terrible pain. If you see some of the pictures of me at that event, like you could just tell, like my face is red, I'm sweating. Like I tried to have my hair in a cute side braid, like half of it's sticking out over here.
Yeah, I saw
like,
that before you left.
There's just like something's wrong, but I go, well, I know what happened and I know my body just needs some time to get over this. Anyway, long story short, about exactly 2 a.m. on Saturday morning, I had a choice. I was packing my bag. I needed to leave at 6 a.m. to catch my flight. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to get on that flight. I've got to connect through Detroit, and then that got pushed back. So I'm like, all right, now this is like 9 hours before I can get to an emergency room. But I'll go straight to the emergency room when I get to Greenville. Swear,
power through.
Like I will get this done. And didn't want to miss my flight, but I did not know what was going on, and that it wasn't just going to be an emergency room visit for a couple of hours. So I Ubered to the emergency room in Kansas City. Shout out North Kansas City Health Hospital. And I got in the car and I said to him, I was like, sir, you're taking me to the emergency room. Please drive as safely, but as fast as you possibly can. And so we drove over there and ran some tests. I had a massive kidney infection, bladder, like basically everything in the pelvic region, plus my kidneys was totally infected. And then we had to run the blood work. Blood cultures take a day or two. I had a blood infection as well, and I had gone into sepsis.
Yeah, you texted me that, and I'm like, oh my God. And people, if you don't know what this is,
everybody said, oh, what just killed Kyle Busch? And I was like, oh, I should Google that. But yes.
Sepsis is a life-threatening medical emergency triggered by the body's extreme uncontrolled response to an infection. It causes a toxic chain reaction throughout the body, leading to widespread inflammation, tissue damage, and organ failure. Immediate medical intervention is required to prevent death.
Yeah. Now, I didn't go into septic shock. That's when you're like, that's game over. There's no coming back from that. But so I had gone into sepsis at that point, which was why I was in so much pain. And so there I was at like 2:30, 3 o'clock Saturday a.m., listening to like tubes and wires and whatnot sticking out of me, laying there in the ER by myself in a city I do not live in, with one person I know that lives in that city. And listening to all the beeping and staring at the white ceiling, just being like, wow, I'm going to die out here alone in a random Midwest state.
This is how it ends.
And here we go. And then they came in and gave me morphine, and suddenly I didn't care about any of that. Yeah. I'd never had morphine before. But then they also came in with this thing of antibiotics, which was what they had to do. And the funny part was, I saw a doctor when I came in, and he ordered all the things. Oh, I got to get the good CT scan where they fill you full of iodine. And had a bunch of x-rays taken and all of that good jazz. So much blood work, so much blood taken. And then at 5 a.m., the hospitalist comes in, and he's like, okay, so because you have this, and it's, and it's septic, we're admitting you to the hospital. And I was like, I'm sorry, what?
I got to go.
And he said, did your doctor not come in and talk to you? And I'm like, what doctor? I saw one man that had a mask on. I couldn't identify him in a lineup for 45 seconds. He immediately knew what was going on. He ordered all the things, and the nurses and the techs have been doing this ever since. And then somebody rolled in here with, a big bag of fluids and antibiotics. And he's like, oh, yeah, okay, so let me tell you what's happening.
Let's take a step back here.
So I was admitted into the hospital. I went into it's called the critical care decision unit or something, like cardiac care, whatever. It's where they put everybody from the ER over the weekend. The unit had no windows. My room had no windows. Didn't have my own shower. And I have never stayed that long in a hospital before. So that was really super good times. And I was there by myself. So I've told people it was, gutting through the pain, which was crazy, because it wasn't just kidney and wraparound, which was excruciating. Think about the worst flu, body, and bone ache you've ever had.
Right?
Yeah, and like I could detail you out exactly what shape my hip ball socket joints are, because I could feel every bit of them because they hurt so bad. My knees hurt, like my bones down my arms hurt. So yeah, good times. It was an exercise in, mental toughness, patience. I got security threatened on me in the first 2 hours I was there. And then
why? Because of your attitude?
Because in the ER, they put in an IV in this arm, right? And they put it in the crook of this arm. And so it did not feel good, and it burned. So that first bag of IV that went in, all those fluids was just burning. But anytime I moved my arm or like breathed too hard, the machine, the little pump that was doing the infusion, would start beeping. At this point, I had not slept. I was in terrible pain. The morphine was off at this point, and that fucking machine was going off every 3 minutes, beeping loudly. And I was so over it. And they just said, oh, well, you got to keep your arm still. They'd come in and they'd like shake the tubes and like reposition my arm and whatnot. So finally, the 20th time it happened, I took I wheeled myself out into the hallway, tears streaming down my face, looking for Rachel, my nurse. And I just said, where's Rachel? Rachel, please just move this IV. I don't care. Poke me as many times as you want. Like, I can't do this. Like, I'm going insane because I also was freezing, but then would start sweating and was just laying in a pool of my own sweat. I mean, it was just like everything was awful. So they finally, I convinced them to move it into my left arm so I wouldn't use it as much and put it in a place where like me doing this with my finger was not going to make the machine beep. Because it got to a point where they after they said like, ma'am, if you don't go back into your room and calm down, like we're going to call security. And I'm like, calm down because I'm in terrible pain. Thank you so much for this. But I was just like, I will rip this IV out myself. Like I'm going insane.
Call security. I need some company.
So it was a good patience. But then afterwards, I actually took a video of me laying there. The guy next door was the most popular. Luckily, I had my own room. Most popular person ever. He was laughing and joking, and because this is 9:30 in the morning now, laughing and joking and whatnot. And here's this machine just going beep, beep. And the thing is, after 5 minutes, it got to be such a joke. I started timing how long it would go off, how many times I pressed the nurse's button, and how long it would take them to shut it off. And I'm just laying there, and you know the video, so you can hear the guy and you can hear the beeping, and my face is just like I wish I had died when I came in. Like it was just. But now I feel like if I ever get captured and tortured, I'm good. Like I'm solid. You're not getting any information out of me because that
opened up some new neuromuscular pathways
of my, is it like mental fortitude or yeah.
We talk about the mind-muscle connection with training and how doing something difficult clears a hurdle, opens up new neuromuscular pathways and codes for new proteins. Well,
there was.
Sounds like you did.
I did just that.
So
I did just that.
When you first texted me, you were kind of low key. I'm like, okay, that sounds about right for you.
Yep.
And then you texted back not too long after that, and you're like, sepsis.
Yeah,
like,
that's when they found the blood infection. And
God.
Yeah.
So then I was like, all right, I need to text her some fun memes periodically to keep her spirits up. And then when you finally said, all right, I'm getting on a plane, I'm coming home, and it's going to take me a while. I'm like, don't worry about it. Just come home.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. The when they said, like, that was the other thing. I had to chase the doctors around. I see why they say when you go to the hospital, like, you need an advocate. They were like, we're going to have the infectious disease doctor stop by and see you. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Is it like the CDC? What's happening? I'm not contagious. They just said no.
Hazmat suits.
Yeah, they just said no. That's that's going to be the specialist that will know if we've got you on the right protocol and whatnot. And so he missed me the first day, and I had to go out to the nurse's station like 5 o'clock the first day, be like, hey, did that dude come around or lady come around? Because they didn't stop and see me. Everybody, like, I had to go ask like why the doctors hadn't come in and seen me. But when he then did stop by the next day and said, yeah, you've absolutely got a blood infection. Like, I can't let you out of here unless we have to do these IV antibiotics at least 5 days. You're on day 2. Like, you're going to be here at least 3 more days. So I had not scheduled a flight at that point, and just.
And then they got to get you out of there so you don't become a danger to yourself by contracting other infections. So it's like they got to do this tightrope of you have to go through this course of antibiotics, but we got to also get you out of here in a timely fashion too. So what's your protocol? What's your recovery looking like right now?
I got to get my sleep back on track. They had me on the wonkiest sleep schedule. So apparently in hospitals, they want to do stuff to you at night.
Yeah, all the time.
So
Hey, wake up. We just wanted to check to see if you were asleep.
Yeah, it kind of felt like that. So I would get woken up at midnight and weighed, and then they would check my vitals, and it's like, yep, still have a fever, like we're good. Like they had me on a heart monitor. Like,
How are they weighing you?
They I don't know. I guess to make sure I wasn't lying about using the bathroom, or I don't know. But they put it in kilograms. They're like, do you want to know what this is in pounds? I was like, no.
I don't care.
But having done CrossFit and weightlifting, the first day I went up, like the first 24 hours, I went up like 4.5 kilos or something like that. And I was like, ugh, that's probably no good. But then I actually ended up losing weight over time while I was there, which made sense as things started to level out. But they'd wake me up and they'd take my vitals. And then that was at midnight. And they were supposed to do that every 3 to 4 hours. So that was at midnight. And then at 1:30 in the morning, the blood work people would come in because they had to pull blood, which your IV is in only. So they couldn't just pull blood out of my IV. So that's why I got stuck so many times. Because they want to run that. So when the doctors get in the morning, see, look at this. We're learning about hospitals. It's not like ER. It's not like scrubs at all. So that's all done. And then because I was having blood cultures done, they had to, those people came in and stuck me at 3 a.m, and you have to have one from each arm. So, and then intermittently, if I would wake up, after being stuck a whole bunch, and they, your bed has a sensor on it, so they know if you're up, they would just like come in and knock on the door and be like, do you need anything? And it's like, I need you to leave me alone. And then again, the vitals and stuff would start again.
All right. So anyway, what are you doing? What's your recovery protocol?
That was the question. Finished up one kind of
sleep schedule. That's what you were talking about.
Sleep schedule. So trying to get back on a normal sleep schedule. And then I just finished one type of antibiotic yesterday. Tomorrow I'll finish another antibiotic. Tomorrow I have a barrage. Tomorrow is Monday. I have a barrage of doctors I'm going to go check back in with. I'm going to be tested for, all kinds of different infections and all of that good jazz. You will be happy with this. Like, I drank so much apple juice, Sprite, and water during that time. My hydration level, I used to be able to be like, okay, here, you're hydrated. Well, now I'm so hydrated, it's up to here. So keeping that daily up to here has been an exercise in not getting too far away from a restroom.
Yeah. Yes.
And then it's just rest. And then it's, if I can go take a walk for 15 minutes, go take a walk for 15 minutes. And when I get tired, lay down and rest, because my body just needs rest right now.
You just got wrecked.
Yeah.
Do you even have a target about getting back to doing anything related to your workouts or fitness?
Yeah. So I'm not gonna get up and go flogging around and relapse like my mom would say. Going to absolutely take some time with this. Because coming off the antibiotics tomorrow, I can still breathe deeply and feel the infection over here. And I may have gotten my medical doctorate out of Cracker Jack box this morning, but I don't think I should be off antibiotics if I still can feel like pain from the infection. So I'm going to get that all shored away. And then that was going to be my suggestion to you in a week or two. Let's just do some yoga. Let's get me moving. Let's do some yoga. I kind of miss my runner lunges thingies. Some power moves that almost involve no weight. Holding airplanes, holding all that, just kind of doing that
essentially
stuff.
What we're talking about is not stressing your system out.
Yoga for athletes, where I saw it over there.
Yeah, it's over there.
Yeah.
Not stressing your system out so much that you sort of regress through fatigue.
Right.
And kind of being counterproductive to your body's healing process. It's like recovering from the worst flu you've ever had, or whatever kind of probably a viral or a bacterial infection. But anyway, not stressing your system out, letting your body re-regulate from its hyper dysregulated state. But it's different than like if you were recovering from a surgery or an injury or something where you have to this part needs to physically recover. It's like your whole system needs to reset, re-regulate, and you need to start working it back into.
Well, and I remember you said to me
routine.
one time, like, if you could like hold world's greatest stretch for 30 minutes or 60 minutes or something, you'd be bulletproof. And I'm like, all right, let's try that. You know, like, let's just, I don't want to lift anything heavy because I don't want to do, like, just to dumb it down, but like muscle tears or anything that I don't want to add anything onto my body that it also needs to continue to then heal.
Because
It's got all kinds of healing to do.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, we'll take the dogs for walks and let's do some yoga and, you know, put me on the little bandy things and we can do some light bands and just keep me moving. Cause I don't want to, like I said, before we started, I could not open a soda can for the first day or two. Like I just did not have the physical strength. And I remember thinking, oh man, Scott said grip strength is like such an indicator of longevity and I can't open a soda can. I am so screwed.
Dead. You're dead.
I'm dead. And somebody brought me some apple juice and I was like trying to, you know, just get the top off a bottle and I couldn't do it. So it's just incredibly fatigued and weak and whatnot. So not putting any more stress on my system, but, you know, doing some world's greatest stretches right now actually sounds good. Like just because I was in so much pain, like my neck got cricked, my everything hurt so bad. I'd love to stretch it out and move it around.
So the moral of the story is take care of yourself as best as you can. Be aware of your body. Listen to your body. And then when you get wrecked, which eventually will happen to most of us in some form or fashion or another, be fit enough that you can recover from it. And also make sure that you have a trainer that will text you funny memes when you're in the hospital and that will walk your dogs together with you when you need to recover.
And you know, Scott, I did think about that because and it's funny, if people don't know what sepsis is, people are like, oh, you're back. Great. So you're okay now. And it's like, well, yeah, kind of. I mean, I could not leave until the blood infection was gone. But it's not just like you have a cold for, 10 days and then it finally, you have a couple, you feel not great days and now you're back to 100%. I don't know what it's going to take to get back to 100% for me. I know we caught it very, very quickly, for the most part. And I had really, really great care. They absolutely knew what they were doing. But I did think about that as well. Like, wow, Lacey, like it's such a good thing that you got in such better shape to combat this now.
Yeah, if you're hearing all the strange noises and seeing the tops of heads
that
over
was
there
my stomach
on Lacey's camera, we have 3 giant dogs around. Well, 1 giant dog and 2 medium-sized dogs.
Lucy's got the pink squeaky ball, and Finley just came over here to try to say hi to me, and she is saying, "Don't take my pink squeak." I think that's her pink squeaky ball now. I think you guys inherited that.
I was telling you earlier, she's never been a toy dog, but every now and then she'll latch onto something. Like we were walking both of them like a year ago, just doing laps around the neighborhood, and she found in the school parking lot some kids, one of those sparkly light up bouncy ball things, and she was like, ooh, and picked it up and walked with it for like a mile, which just blew us away because she'd never done that. Do you want to get on camera? Come here, buddy. Come here. Show your face. That's Finley. That's Finley. You got to get in camera frame. All right. Good job. So anyway, when I asked you to come over, I got a bunch of different things for us to talk about, but the only thing that I put on my notes was, how's it going?
Yeah, like just let Lacey talk. That's what she do.
Let's hear this story.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, it was my first major health scare, and I think back to the first time we kind of podcasted, and it's like, how do you keep going, and whatnot? It's like, you're worth it. So first of all, obviously no idea. This was just the kind of perfect storm. Take UTIs seriously, people. And if someone says you don't have one, like maybe you get a second opinion when your whole body's going like, but I think we have one. And what happened was I had strep the week before or week and a half before, and I was on antibiotics. And so the hospitalist told me that actually tailing off on those antibiotics, that UTI test I took gave me a false positive because of those other antibiotics that were still probably in the system.
When you started talking about this and I said, how's it going? And you were like, well, I was in, where were you, Kansas City?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, hold on a second. You need to back up because there's a whole lot more to this than that because you were already sick.
Yeah, I was already sick.
Like twice before all of this even happened.
I had strep, and then I got over it, and that was like a day or two, and then suddenly I'd never had one before, but I figured that's what it was, and so it was just the perfect storm. But that's another good reason to treat yourself well, take care of yourself, get in some semblance of a shape where you feel good. Because you never know when you're going to be asking the Uber driver to drive you quickly to the ER.
Take care of yourself.
Did not see that coming.
You never know when the universe is going to need you to be at your absolute strongest because you're going to be your weakest. You're going to get smashed into a pulp, and your ability to recover because of how you hydrated, how your nutrition plan, your workout plan prior to that.
Yeah.
I mean, not to turn this into workout preaching, but I feel like this.
It's not
your
even
ability
to me. It's just,
your ability to recover is going to be greatly enhanced by your commitment to your
and it's gonna and it was. I've been healthy as a horse up to this is my first anything like this. So I was had a lot of time alone. Got to think about I'm so glad that I'm in the shape I'm in and that I had put in the time. And, we had pushed through. You'd pushed me through climbing up the rope ladder, climbing up
when
all
you
the
were
things.
well.
When I was well.
When you were well.
When I was well.
When you had strep throat, I made you climb a rope.
To push me mentally. I do have some weird thing about jumping off the ground, and we worked on falling off of things. And so I did not whip bedpans at nurses on that first day because, we had also practiced all kinds of, trusting in yourself. So just sort of the whole 360 experience here and kind of what I've been doing helped me through that entire 5 days of absolute hell.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad that you are obviously on the mend. And we're going to your team. We're going to make sure that you get well.
Put me back up. Put me back together again. Yeah.
And then once you're well, we're going to get after it.
Yes, which reminds me. I don't have insurance.
I was wondering about that. I actually was wondering about that.
To do that weeks ago when I started to apply, and then I was like, oh, squirrel. So this hospital bill is really something. So I actually sold my Kansas City Mumford & Sons tickets. So if you want to do a Spartan race now on August 2nd, I am
You're going to be ready
available.
For that in 7 weeks?
You're going to carry me, right? Like you're going to put me in in a baby Bjorn, right? And we go, yeah. I'll try.
Yeah, okay.
I don't have to win it, right?
No. That's and that's the thing that's a good segue. All right. So I've got a balanceFIT team going for one of the Spartan races that's local to us, nearby. It's like an hour away, just over the North Carolina, South Carolina line from us. And obviously I asked you to do it, and you had that prior engagement, prior commitment, and I was kind of bummed. And anyway, so I've got 3 other people plus myself, and I want to have you, and we want to make sure that we take it easy. But this one thing I always talk about when I got into Spartan racing, let's say OCR racing through Spartan, they're not paying me to say this, but there are other obstacle course racing organizations. But anyway, I got into Spartan racing because at around age 50-ish, I'd been a runner my whole life. I've been in Marine Corps infantry. I've been a competitive runner. Other stuff, work that I did, I caddied for 20 years. So I got to the point where my knees just couldn't take road racing anymore. I could do a 5K. I could do we actually had an 8K, a big 8K near my old hometown down in Low Country, the Beaufort Twilight Run. And that's a good distance. That's like 4.98 miles or something like that. I could do those, but 10Ks, half marathons, I couldn't do it anymore, but I still needed to compete. I needed to do something all right, I'm training for this. Give me a goal. Give me that short and middle term goal, and give me some benchmarks to do, this kind of stuff. And plus just competing, because just when you're an adult, your opportunities for actual competition just almost vanish.
Yeah.
And the ones that are there get real expensive.
So that's what my parents always said to me. Like, I used to play soccer and was obsessed with it. And they're like, Lacey, how many adult women's soccer leagues do you know that are out there? Well, that was, 20 years ago, and there was none.
Times have changed a little bit now.
Hey, Mom and Dad, there's tons. I wish I had stayed.
Yeah, the rec world is pretty cool now.
Yeah.
But, so I was searching for something else, and something that I could at least compete with myself. Mm-hmm. And that's when I found, like, I wonder if I can do this. This looks cool. And I got a military background, so obstacle course stuff was always fun to me. I'm a boy. I grew up in the South. We're climbing trees, jumping creeks, and crawling through the mud anyway. So that's how I got involved with it. And the cool thing is that I learned was it's your race. You can actually sign up for competitive heats. So you can sign up for age groups, or if you qualify for elite, then you're racing, and you're racing under a set of rules and standards. But if you sign up for open, it's your race. Yeah. You paid your money. You can, if you want to walk a mile to the middle of the course and sit down on the ground and watch everybody else run by, you can do it. Yeah. The obstacles are there for you to challenge yourself. If there's a sign by every obstacle that says something like, if you feel like you can't do this, or it's a little too much for you, you can skip this. I'm paraphrasing. But, and the cool thing about running with teams is that you help each other. So you kind of pull each other over walls and pull each other up the stairway to Sparta, and kind of help each other and cheer each other on. And if you can't do an obstacle, who cares? Yeah. You run together, you finish together, you jump over the fire jump together.
And then it's great too to have somebody experienced like you on the team, so it's not as daunting. Like, it's not as scary. Like, hey, Scott's done this before.
Have little
like
tutorials along the way.
We're gonna go up to this wall, and I'm not gonna stare at it and be like, oh, there's a wall, I guess I'll just go around. You'll be like, all right, here's how we're supposed to do it.
Which I've taught you. We did work like that at the Ninja Gym. But yeah, we're inside of 2 months until the race. So I'm starting to have all of my clients, all of y'all, transition over to something that's a little more adjacent to training for a Spartan race, which I guess the pink squeaky ball has been
Lucy lost the pink squeaky ball.
A Spartan race is essentially it's like plyometrics with cardio. It's high intensity plyometrics with low intensity cardio, or basically you can make your own race. Like I said, if you want to walk, but you're running, you approach an obstacle. So you have to do an explosive strength maneuver, like climbing a wall or doing monkey bars or whatever the thing is. Then you have to recover to run again. And so training to do that kind of teaching your heart rate, being able to spike your heart rate and get up into that area to do the strength move, and then heart rate recovery back down to do a steady state run.
And then mud. That's the thing.
Through the mud.
Is the mud at the end, or is it the mud through the whole thing?
It depends. It depends on if it rains. I did this particular course.
Do we need to take that away from her?
Yeah, that's real bad audio.
You talk there, but talk to me, I
can edit this. So just do what you need.
Come on, hey, get out. Oh, Lucy got her. Gonna need a stitch. Was not destroyed. That's good. I was looking for him earlier. Okay, yeah. So remember how I was messing with this thing a whole bunch?
What'd you do? You just fucked the whole thing.
I just fucked the whole thing Okay, mud. Because
Mud,
I have
yes.
a concern.
All right,
I have a
so-
concern about this mud.
All right. Well, you will encounter mud in a Spartan course, and the question is, how much mud will you encounter? So the team is doing a sprint together, and that's 3-ish miles. They call them Spartan miles. Could be 3.5, could be 3, could be 3.1, could be 4. It's going to be 3-ish. When I ran this they got a new venue in Newberry, which is just down the road from us a few years ago. And the first year they had that, the race was in July, and the Asheville race, which is not in Asheville, it's in Mill Spring, was in November. And now they flipped them. Anyway, the first year I ran the Asheville/Mill Spring race, which is at an equestrian center, by the way, one of the world's largest equestrian
Mill
centers.
Spring up in
Mill
Tryon?
Spring, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's where it is.
I used to go up there and be like, oh, can I go and train just do a schooling, run this week? And they're like, no, we're doing the Spartan race. So I actually have ridden a horse through there a lot. I'll know that terrain.
That's where it is.
Oh, my God, that hill at the end? No.
Yeah. So, yep. But anyway, so the first year I ran this course that we're running was in November.
Okay.
And I ran the Beast, which is 13 miles. And it was 40 degrees. And it had rained for 2 weeks. So the first quarter mile of the race was knee-deep water. So it's 40 degrees, and you got 13 miles ahead of you, and you're immediately wet from the thighs down. Your shoes are soaked.
Yeah, it feels awful.
For 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
So, yes, there was some mud there, but last year it was dry. So I've actually never run a sprint at this course. So I've only run the Super and the Beast there. So I don't know what the routing will be. I know they'll have us doing a creek crossing at the end. And the mud, thankfully, at this one is, well, I say thankfully because they kind of get you. The barbed wire crawl, which most of the time is either a little muddy or on some dry ground, is through foot-deep muddy water.
And the reason I asked, you said you kind of wanted variety.
And that's Lucy.
What are we barking at, Lou? It is because I just can't imagine getting mud in my sports bra and then having to go through for the rest of the time. Same with just trying to think of similarities. When I used to triathlon, they are always practice in your triathlon suit, practice. Well, I swam in my triathlon suit once for 10 minutes. What I didn't realize was the stitching under the armpits was really rough. So I came out of that water in my first triathlon, it just red raw. So then I'm trying to run at the end and I'm running like this. And so, don't try anything new on game day.
No.
And
No.
and think about those things. But now that I have this mental fortitude, you just go ahead and put mud in my shoes and I will keep going.
There you go. So, yes, and let me point that out because I'm going to start. I want to do a series of pointers and tips as you're building up to Spartan racing. But that's a big one because people always ask about hydration. They always ask about nutrition. How do I carb load? What do I do? What do I eat before this? And the first thing is don't do anything new
on game day.
On game day, or in this case, 1 or 2 or 3 days ahead of time.
Yeah.
So your hydration, first of all, my God, people in their hydration, just drink water. If you're hydrating the day of the race, you're already dehydrated.
Yeah.
So your hydration plan needs to start. You need to be drinking, depending on your body weight, a minimum of somewhere around 80 ounces of water a day. And because this race is in the summer in the South, you're going to be sweating a lot more. You need to drink more than that. You need to add, in this case, I don't advocate for electrolyte supplements because for the most part, most people don't need them because you're not putting the amount of effort required and losing the amount of sweat required to replace electrolytes that you get naturally through exogenously through food anyway. So, but in this case, I want you to train outside because I want you to temper yourself.
Yeah.
So don't go run on the treadmill inside an
worst.
air-conditioned gym. Get out on the road.
Heat takes me down faster than anything.
Walk and run in the heat and the hills and the bugs, and we're going to go do some trail runs too because you need to get used to your feet running on roots and rocks and uneven ground. nutrition wise, don't try to carb load a day or two before, because you're just going to be behind. You need to start ramping up your nutrition plan 2 weeks ahead of a race.
And don't freak out.
Because you need to make sure it's balanced, and you need to make sure you don't overdo fiber, and you don't.
I don't overdo the fiber.
Yeah, because you're going to underdo your the couple of days around a race. You kind of need, if you're in any kind of a protocol, like if you're on a nutrition plan where your macros at a certain pace, we're going to kind of flip, and we're going to jack up. We're going to take a lot of the fat out because that causes GI issues. And we're going to really jack up the carbohydrates, and we're going to keep the protein where it is, because you don't want to you're not going to lose muscle mass that quickly. But anyway, so yeah, the lesson there was don't change anything. And don't do anything different on game day.
Too, what's interesting to me is that,
and don't wear new clothes.
Yeah, I had tested it out, just not like for as long as I had needed to. But there just seems to be like so much crossover between this and, triathloning. Same with, so many people, did not ever train their transitions. When you got to go in, one of the things that caught me most off guard in my first triathlon. So first of all, you're going to either beach start or tread water start. But I swam and I felt pretty good. Well, running up the beach in sand after your toes have been pointed and you've been kicking like that, calf cramps, and just did not, and then had them kind of off and on for the rest of the thing. So it's the stuff like that you don't think about when you get into something that's not hey, I'm running on a road. I'm running on a road. I'm running on a road. When you throw in all these other elements, you got to sort of think through, which is why my brain does so well with it, because I love logistics and planning and thinking through all of the best case scenarios, worst case scenarios. I got to plan for everything.
There is, and that's one of the reasons that I train y'all with cognitive exercises too, because you do have to think your way through these things. You should be thinking your way through these things. Anyway, you need to strategically figure out, all right, okay, I completed that obstacle. Now you never know how long you have to run or when or what. They'll give you, they'll release a course map so you can actually see what obstacles are coming up. And they'll have a big course map at the venue. So you can kind of get an idea. You're like, all right, right here, this is the longest stretch of a run. So it's a mile. It's 1 mile. So I'm going to have to make sure that I dial in my effort, my rate of perceived exertion here so that I can survive because right after this stretch, there's 6 obstacles back to back to back to back to back. So I'm going to need that power for that. So you should be thinking your way through that. All right, so yes.
Oh, I was going to say, a variety show, I have something that kind of fits into this. It is athletic adjacent. Remember I said, I have something. I'm going to throw it out there in the middle.
Bring it.
Okay, so did not realize I was going to be gone for 8 days instead of 36 hours. I left my gym shoes in the car. They are so stinky. It stunk up my car, Scott, and I wear socks. But I've started to not wear socks, and even those like cute little Ariat things I wear, all my shoes are so stinky. What is the secret and I put them in the washer, because I can just wash them, and did all of that, still couldn't get the stink out of them. What is the secret? Which, come on, from your Marine days, you should know this too. What is the secret to making your shoes not stinky?
Well, first of all, you don't leave them with dirty socks wadded up in a hot car for 9 days.
There was no hot socks in there. The socks were underneath them.
Cornstarch or baking soda. Okay. Baking soda is going to be the thing.
Pull the odor out, for most things.
That's going to be the thing.
Okay, because I tied, put them in the washer, did the whole thing, then did another rinse and spin, got them out, sniffed them, was like, yikes, put them in the sink with some more Tide, and then just let them soak and soak and soak, scrubbed, and I just can't get apparently my feet are stinky. But yeah, so that's what I was going to say. That's pro tip. I'm going to throw some baking powder in them. And
bamboo socks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which I might actually.
Oh, okay.
Right? Look at this. Boom. There they are. And they're branded too. Orange. Bamboo socks. I have, this is, I don't, these are thick. So I don't wear them to train in, except for in the wintertime. But they are made, they're really super soft, and they're made to, obviously wick the moisture away, but bamboo, different clothes that are made of it. I have a hoodie that's made of it too, is an antimicrobial.
Yeah. Well, and I've had sheets, but I don't think I've really liked them as sheets. So this shout out Bamboo MN, is that Minnesota men sizes, or is that just their they need to give you a sponsorship now?
Sure. I don't know. I got those, I'm sure, on the great website that is the origin of all things now.
Bezos.
Hey, so have you heard about the new restaurant on the moon?
Oh, Dad. What? Tell me about the restaurant on the moon, Dad.
Found out. Yeah, it's got great food, but no atmosphere.
Oh.
All right. Yes, thank you very much. I'll be here all week. Tip your waitresses. We were sitting, Meredith and I were sitting on the couch the other night, and something came up. One of those, I get fed, the algorithm on YouTube feeds me. There's a huge German Shepherd underneath me trying to escape.
She lost her ball in your speaker. I'll get it.
It was something to do. I forget what it was, but we get pushed these things that are like, can you answer these 10 80s pop culture trivia questions? And we have fun with that. It's pretty cool. But one of them came up, and I thought, you know what? I looked at her and I said, that right there is a litmus test. This is how I'm going to find out if I can really be friends with people. But I thought this would be, because there are certain things culturally, and I feel like we're running out of them. We need to get the squeaky ball out of here.
Right.
Because that's going to be bad audio.
Right, go get the ball. Go get something else. Go get literally anything else.
Yeah, why do we put squeakers in dog toys? Who could possibly ever imagine that? And everybody's back in here now with squeaky toys. Good Lord.
I found there was a random leg, and I thought, oh good, she can destroy that. It won't be a big deal. Because I got the ball in my pocket, because if she sees me take it.
That's a disembodied leg arm from a poor bear that was dismembered by Finley.
It's so long and skinny. I just thought, oh yeah, she'll destroy this in 30 seconds and distract her from the thing she really wants, which is going in there now. And lo and behold, it's got a squeaker in it. Ooh.
All right. So anyway, I
litmus test.
Culturally,
sorry, levity.
Yeah, I thought there are things that are culturally fundamental that transcend generations, that get passed on no matter what. It's this whole generational responsibility thing that I talk about, where you take lessons from the people who raised you. As you grow, you kind of figure out what's useful and keep it. Throw out what seems to be stupid. Hopefully you have pretty good judgment about that by then. And then you add your own stuff to it, and then you take that and you give it to your kids, and they do the same thing, and it repeats over and over again. And hopefully we have an escalating zeitgeist, things that improve along the way. But anyway, there are certain culturally fundamental things that I feel like everyone knows. And if you don't know it, something got broken along the way. So that one question was, how fast did the DeLorean have to go to time travel?
See, now you said 88 miles per hour.
Yeah.
I was like, 1.21 gigawatts. No.
That's another one, too. If you don't know 88 miles an hour, and actually I think that got thrown in there. It has something to do with the Heisenberg principle. So I don't think 88 miles an hour is actually random. I don't know whether it has anything to do with the flux capacitor and time travel. But so after we did that, all right, have you swallowed that thing yet? Nope. All right.
You wanted variety.
I know. So anyway, that led me to try to think of, I can't.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that tiny little thing would have a tweaker in it.
No.
Hey.
Everybody's getting hurted. Everybody's hurting everybody.
Mm-hmm.
There are 38 toys you had. Come on.
But just find one with a squeaker. Oh, boy. Dogs.
All right, so that led me to By the way, if you're enjoying this is the kind of variety show that I've always wanted to do, where we just get up and walk off camera randomly and dogs are interrupting the show. But what would life be without that?
I mean,
so I came up with a few other questions that I think are probably culturally fundamental, and I'm going to rapid fire them at you.
okay. Well, and you know what's so funny? I knew 88 miles per hour, hands down, whatever. But it's like, well, that Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? You're watching it at home, and somebody's on the hot seat, and they're like, my brain went, is it 85? It's 88. Like it's 80. It's 88, right? Like maybe it was 85.
It is 88 miles an hour.
Yeah.
If you're not old enough to know what we're talking about, then do some research. All right, how about this? Who shot JR?
Oh, from is that Falcon Crest or Dynasty? That's
Dallas.
Dynasty. Oh, Dallas. Okay. I don't know. That was my
It was
parents.
a little before
my parents watched that, and so who shot JR?
You were born in 82, and I want to say that might have happened around 1982-ish.
Yeah, and I've heard this question before, and so I've heard the answer, but it was not in my.
It was Kristen. Kristen shot
Kristen.
JR.
Okay, I'm
All
gonna
right,
say
so
JR Jr. I don't know.
Who drove a red Ferrari around Hawaii?
Oh, Magnum PI. Tom Selleck. That stash.
Yeah.
Oh.
What was his name? What was his full name in the show?
Oh, what was Magnum PI's full name? I don't know. It was Tom Selleck.
Thomas Sullivan Magnum. And what was his job in the military?
Radio operator.
He was a Navy SEAL. What was the name of the skyscraper in Die Hard?
Oh, starts with a T. It's a Japanese Asian sounding Takayama.
You're close. It doesn't start with a T. It has a T in it.
Tamaguchi. Yaka.
Oh, you're getting closer. You're getting closer.
Yeah.
Nakatomi Plaza.
Nakatomi. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
What was the name of the high school in The Breakfast Club?
Oh, no idea.
Am I edging
You
a little too early for you?
That is slightly early. So obviously,
that was 80. I think Breakfast Club was 86.
And I've seen it, but that was not during like my teenage formative years where I was like obsessed with it. And like, I was just behind my slightly older best friend had the New Kids on the Block posters on her wall, and I did not get that. I was like, what?
You are, I'm set. No. Yes. No, I am 7. Math is hard. 46.
Math is
I'm
hard.
13 years older than you. Yes. Mm-hmm. And so you're closer to my wife's age. So I think the two of you have a little bit.
So here's what I do. I love to play trivia. Here's what I do when I can't come up with something. So I know that's a John Hughes movie. And he loved to film up and around like the Evanston Northwestern, like whatever.
Your neck of the woods.
And so like that just makes me think of, what would he have pulled from there that might have made it something that I am familiar with. I want to say like Evanston High School, which I know is not correct. I'm trying to think of like what little cute suburb might he have named it after.
It's made up. It's fictional.
Oh, okay.
Because he used the same high school in The Breakfast Club and Weird Science and 16 Candles.
Okay.
And maybe even Pretty in Pink.
Okay.
It was Shermer High School, but it was. Okay. I think he said it was sort of like a fictitious place that was like an amalgamation of everyone and everything that he knew growing up in that area, in that suburban Chicago, Illinois area.
Yeah. Well, that's why I loved Mean Girls so much, because, they reference like the Old Orchard Mall and whatnot, which is funny because the Old Orchard Mall is open air. And, but
here's one that's also 1986, but I
try to stay up on things. I've seen it all. I know a little bit to be dangerous about it, but I probably don't know the details.
I think you should be able to get this one. What were the call signs of the two main characters in the original Top Gun?
Oh my gosh, Iceman and Maverick.
Are we calling about?
Goose. Sorry. Okay, the two main characters.
Yeah, I had to think about that for a second, but because Goose died, maybe Val Kilmer, maybe Iceman had.
Spoiler alert, Scott! Don't get us.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, I'm really, really sorry.
I mean, come on, Iceman. In fact, that's my 4th of July shirt. I have it's Tom Cruise as Maverick with like the tank top with like fireworks going off behind him. Like that's my.
And finally, I do believe that this transcends age. When you were born, what was Mandy Patinkin's famous line in The Princess Bride?
Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You've killed my father. Prepare to die.
Prepare to die.
Yeah, he was looking for the 6-fingered man, and he Wesley said, "As you wish," and it was Princess Buttercup. And shout out Robin Wright Penn, who still looks just like she did back in the day. What a stone cold fox she is.
I'm not arguing with that
Right.
point at all. Hey,
At any age.
Did you ever see the show Homeland? It's a CIA.
Yeah, the one
thing.
with Claire Danes.
Yes.
I did not. That came out kind of around the time of 24.
Well, we're just watching it now.
Okay, I'm gonna say around the time of 24, and I was so burnt out on 24, it kind of felt like another one. But I heard it's amazing.
It's something. But Mandy Patinkin is one of the main characters in it, and it's really weird.
Well, and I love him because Mandy Patinkin was the original Broadway cast of Evita. And so like just his range and talent, and then he was a doctor, and wasn't he in like Chicago ER or one of the ER spinoffs? He was in for a while. Yeah, no, talented.
All right, moving on from those, here are some other personality questions. What is your marooned on a desert island food, music, and movie? So you're marooned on a desert island. You get one food. Now we can call it a dish. So like if you say, shout out to my hat, if you say tacos, obviously that's meat, cheese, sour cream and tortillas. So anyway, food item, music. So it can be an album or a song or whatever, and movie.
Okay. So my question to you back is, why do I give a shit about any of these things if I'm marooned on a desert island? I want to get off. So basically it's kind of like if you had to be stuck
You can't get off. You got to have something to do.
Okay, so I've got to have something to do, and what
you got to sustain yourself.
What I am not
Let's
focusing
say this
on is getting off the island.
Yeah, there's
All
a
right, that's
magical plane that flies over once a month and drops your supplies, but it's only that food item, and it can't bring you any extra movies or music or anything like that, and they can't land anywhere to rescue you. So that's what world we're living in right now.
I've also, a horrible confession, I've never seen Lost, so this might be the plot of it. I wouldn't know.
No, we watched.
Okay, the food that I would want to go with, as weird as it sounds, but also desert island sushi.
Okay, you could actually probably make your own.
You're correct. That
I don't know where
really
you
good.
get your rice unless you were on a desert island in Southeast Asia somewhere.
And then as far as like music goes, my music taste is just so all over the place. But I have to say, I probably want to keep it upbeat.
Yeah, you may not want some emo stuff going on for all of eternity on your island.
Some tanning music. But I have to say, I would go, even though back when they were doing it was very formulaic, I would go with some like original album Mumford & Sons, because like that rage banjo just gets me every time. Like they're so ballady. It's like such good ballad and like whatever. And they're like, but we're so angry. And I think that would be great. And then as far as movie goes, I've got my top 5 movies for lots of different reasons, but there are movies that I think are great that I could never watch again. And so to me, this is going to be a tie. Dependent, I don't know. I'll think about it and I'll come down to one, but it's either going to be Everything Everywhere All at Once or True Lies.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
True Lies is one of those movies that when it comes on, I can watch it. When I went to visit my friends in the Keys, I was like, tell me when we're on 7 Mile Bridge. I'm sticking my head out of the, out of the sunroof. But
tell me when we're on the 7 Mile Bridge, because you wouldn't know otherwise.
Yeah, well, I mean, I figured, there's a lot of bridges. I was like,
there are a lot of bridges. I lived in Key West for 6 years, and I made that drive up and down US 1 100 times. And there are, God, I used to know the exact number. It's something like 138 bridges between. It's about 132 miles or so from Key West, from the end of US 1. I think it's 109 miles to the southern tip of Key Largo, and then it's like 132 miles before you hit Florida City, which is like the cutoff of where you get down into the wilderness of the Keys. But yeah, watching that movie after having lived down there and when they blew it up, but that's there are two bridges, the old railroad bridge that runs and the new highway one.
But that is just one of those movies I can always watch. I grew up a Schwarzenegger fan. And I like one of the things that sold it for me, and two, I mean, when did that come out? I was in my teens. Like when he steals the horse and like he and the horse run through and like the horse jumps over the drum set. Like I just found that so like the horse in the elevator I loved. And then like, well, gosh, both those movies have Jamie Lee Curtis in them, don't they? But like Jamie Lee, Be Still My Heart in that movie.
Yeah,
like,
she was.
Wow, girl.
She was rocking it in True Lies.
Girl.
Jeez.
So just love it. I love, I've never been I don't really know much about him, but I thought Tom Arnold was really funny.
I thought Tom Arnold was hysterical.
Yeah,
in that
like
movie.
I thought he was the perfect like goofball.
He was a good foil to Arnold.
Exactly. It showed up. I grew up on Wayne's World, so then Tia Carrere shows up. Carrera. Shows up, and the tango. Everybody wanted to go learn tango after that. So yeah, I just think from like start to finish, all around, that's a great movie. However, I mean, Everything Everywhere All at Once just blew me out of the water when it came out. It immediately took my number one spot for favorite movie of all times. I make everybody I know watch it. But if we're just kind of like, hey, Lacey, you got to kill some time on a desert island, I probably would watch True Lies just again and again.
Yeah. I think for me, in spite of my hat, which I'm rocking my wife's tacos hat, which is one of my favorite food items of all time. Let's see, it comes down to, and it's good tacos, not just tacos, but it's good tacos, good pizza. Good pizza comes down to the crust. You can take any kind of bread and throw cheese and meat on it, and it's going to be in tomato sauce, and it's going to be good. Mm-hmm. But what separates it is the crust, that good yeasty crust. Oh, we had the best pizza ever. Great. The squeakies are back. We had the best pizza ever at a little place in Maine, in Southwest Harbor, Maine, called Little Notch Bakery. And God, we took videos of it. It was I think the thing that did it was the crust was amazing, but I think the thing that did it was they had these marinated black olives. Oh my God, it was so good. Anyway, tacos, pizza, and coffee. That's what Meredith and I do when we travel. But if I got to eat one thing forever, it's going to have to sustain me.
It is going to not have a squeaky toy in it. What did she find? See, to me, this is all stuff you leave in. This is real life.
For me, believe it or not, I think it's going to be the thing that I actually eat every morning right now anyway, and that is fruit, yogurt, and granola. When we go on vacation and there's a breakfast buffet, that's what I get because I love that. Mm-hmm. So, and as far as music, an album, it could be something like Appetite for Destruction, or it could be something like Mama's Home, or it could be something like Jane's Addiction, Nothing Shocking, or it could be something like Lenny Kravitz, Let Love Rule. But honestly, I think it's going to have to be the first Eagles live album. It was recorded recorded in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena in like 1980 or something like that.
And you know who I discounted, and I'd have to go back and think about it, but Prince. I mean,
oh God, yeah.
Rest in peace, Mr. Nelson.
Yeah, and I guess to make this challenge harder, you'd have to throw a rule in that said no greatest hits compilations. You can have a live album, but no greatest hits compilations, because Prince's greatest hits, that would be a thing. Seriously. But yeah, but when we were out in northern Arizona recently. Where'd we go to? What's the name of that spa retreat place everybody goes to in Arizona? Sedona. We were in Sedona for our 25th anniversary, and we drove to. We had a Jeep We pulled the top down, or took the bimini top or the bikini top, whatever it's called, off. And we drove up to Flagstaff and all the way across to the Petrified Forest and back. And of course, Meredith sleeps in the car wherever we go instantaneously. But on the drive back, and we stopped in along the way on Route 66 in Winslow, Arizona, because we're both big Eagles fans. And then all of that put together, driving across the desert of northern Arizona in a Jeep with the top off, blasting that album, that first Eagles live album, was like a religious experience for me. And people, hey, like what you like. But for me, that was one of the first albums that I remember growing up in my house that my parents had listening to. And
Meredith's home.
Hey, 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 hey. It's safe. Safe passage. This is going to make for some great audio.
Meredith, you deal with them.
I'll let her deal with the dogs now. This is going to be an incredible podcast. Please shut Lucy up. So it's going to be that, and for my movie, I'm probably going to need to have something light, something that I know is going to make me smile and make me laugh. So it might have to be Smokey and the Bandit. It could be So I Married an Axe Murderer.
I thought you were going to say something about Mary.
That wasn't my cup of tea. I didn't think it was all that funny. But and I know I'm an outlier with that. But it could be Jaws. But I don't know if I want to watch that being on an island.
Yeah, no thank you.
So it's real close between Axe Murderer and Smokey and the Bandit. But I think I'm going to have to go with Smokey and the Bandit. So what is a food that you wouldn't eat even if you were starving?
Easy. Octopus. I can't do it. I can't do calamari. I'm gonna say like mushrooms or tomatoes, but I could stomach one of those down. But like, I just can't do. My parents really wanted me to like it. They ordered it one time, and I was like, "Why does like burning, like deep fried burning rubber tires? Why is that delicious?
Because they say it is.
I don't get it. Or like oysters, mussels, anything that's living in a shell.
For me, it's onions.
Interesting.
Hate onions. I will eat almost anything. I'm not a picky eater. I was never that way as a kid. I would pretty much eat anything you put in front of me and be grateful for it. But there's something I can't deal with onions. Now, here's the thing. I've actually made, to make a point, I caramelized onions once to put on something. Now, when you caramelize onions, you break down all the sugars and starches, and all of that really, that pungent, whatever it is that onions have, goes away. It completely mellows out.
Yeah, it's a different.
And I ate them, and I put them on my food, and they were good. But when it's talking like raw onions, when people put raw onions on something, I'm like, that overwhelms the food. You can't even taste the actual food when you put raw yellow or white onions on something.
My papa used to like eat an onion like
God,
an apple.
I know.
I grew up like that. But do you chop onions to like have in your salsa?
No,
and stuff
hell
like
no. No, I won't eat salsa if it's got big chunks of onions.
Well, it doesn't have to be like big chunks.
I know, but when
but
you
at the
go,
same time, celery. I'm that way with celery.
A good Mexican restaurant, your Mexican restaurant will go super high up on my list if the salsa you put in front of me is a smooth blended salsa. Yeah. I know it's got onions in the recipe, but it's not big chunks of onions in it. So, hey, you said, what was it? Oh, you were talking about octopus. Like, why are you making me eat this? And I said, well, because
fried rubber tire.
Because people say it's good. It's calamari, it's octopus. You should be. So that leads me to this one. What is the most overrated food?
Don't hate me if I say tacos.
Hey, it's your list, man.
That's just kind of, I'm like, gosh, that just popped into my head because I'm staring at it on your hat, probably. But it's like Taco Tuesday and everything, and I like a taco, and I've had some very authentic, delicious tacos. But I'm an enchilada gal, first and foremost. Overrated food. Oh, any of the trendy crap right now, like, you know, the acai bowls, how do you pronounce it? Any of the juice places, like, just, yeah, like, don't, meh. Nothing like that. But yeah, no, my brother sometimes calls himself Tommy Two Tacos. Like, people love tacos. I get that. And I'm just sort of like,
See, for me,
take it or leave it.
it's all in with tacos. For my most overrated food, without even a tiny bit of hesitation. So when you say something's overrated, you have to ask the question then, what is it rated? So is it held in high esteem and you feel like that's got a place that's way too up there? Because a lot of times people say something's overrated and you're like, well, what's it rated? Nobody thinks that's the greatest thing ever. It can't be overrated. This food to me is the most overrated food in the history of time. Lobster.
Oh, I actually really like lobster. I was going to say Wagyu. I like lobster done correctly. I don't. No, I wouldn't argue with you on that. Like, just, yeah, you're run of the mill, like, oh, throw a lobster tail on that, meh. Like,
when you
whatever.
think about what the culture has done to lobster.
Oh, yeah, the whole story. I've got some friends
the quintessence
from
of
Maine
something being overrated.
Like,
well, lobster was poverty food.
Yes, and now it's like, you know.
It was what the poor people ate that washed up on the beach, right?
Yeah.
Sea bugs. But we had, and before anybody goes insane, well, you've never had it done the right way. Well, that's the thing that bugs me the most. It's like, yeah, I'm sure I have had it done anyway. I mentioned the best pizza we ever had was in Southwest Harbor, Maine. We have lobster in Maine on the dock at a restaurant about 30 feet from where the boat came in that brought the lobster in. And still I'm like,
yeah,
it's fine.
It's
okay.
Yeah.
Well, we had it like 3 or 4 different ways.
I still didn't.
I wasn't like, ugh, yuck. I was like, it's all right. Like you are with tacos. Yeah. It's all right.
Well,
but it's so like has a place of like, it's like a Louis Vuitton bag or something. It's like, oh, lobster.
No, I just like lobster. As you were saying that though, I was like, oh, I thought of mine. I actually thought of my real one, chili.
You think chili?
I don't like chili. I think it's overrated. People go goo goo gaga for chili, and I just don't. I don't get it. Yeah, it's not my thing. But you mentioned the pizza again, and I was going to circle back to what's that joke about pizza when you're talking about like, oh, it's still pretty good or whatever. It's like sex is like pizza when it's good.
The worst it's ever going to be is good.
Yeah, the worst it's ever going to be is good. I've heard it a little different than that, but yeah, same concept.
There's some truth to that because I even said a few minutes ago, you can take any kind of bread and throw cheese and meat on it. It's going to be fine and sauce, but but you know, you go order Domino's, guess what? It's going to be fine.
It's fine.
It's going to be, and everybody's going to eat it.
Yeah.
All right. Moving into kind of back into the fitness world.
Yeah.
Have you heard, are you familiar with the presidential physical fitness test?
The one I had to do in elementary school.
Oh, you did in elementary school?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yes, I brought this up before.
They brought it back.
Oh, what is it?
I'm so happy.
Is it the exact same thing?
Basically the same thing. I did mine in 6th and 7th grade. I remember that. I still have the certificates.
I want to say we did it like 5th grade, 5th, 6th, 7th, I think was us.
We got a patch that went with it. It was red, white, and blue. It's around here somewhere. But apparently Obama got rid of it in like 2016 or something, and for all the reasons that you would guess surrounding that, which is, well, this makes people feel bad.
Made me feel bad.
Well, I mean, you know, maybe
to the point I'm still talking about, Scott. How many times have I been out in that garage and reached down and touched my toes and been like, you know, Scott, the only reason I didn't get a presidential physical fitness award was because I couldn't touch my toes for whatever reason when I was 12. It's the strangest thing. It's soul crushing.
But you know what? Little soul crushing is good for you. Hey, if everything was easy,
and now I can touch my toes.
Or just imagine if, and this is what we're trying to do with life now. We're trying to make it like this. We're trying to take away all the wave tops and all the crests, all the troughs, all the crests and all the troughs. Nope, everything's got to be here. Everybody's got to be like this. Nobody can be too excited. Nobody can be too depressed. Everybody's going to be right here in the middle, and that's why everybody talks like this now. Nobody can talk. So come on, man. A little soul crushing is good for character. So anyway, in a major shift for physical education, state level legislation such as recent bills in Iowa has mandated the return of the presidential fitness test in public schools. The move is designed to standardize youth fitness measurements and encourage structured athletic development over summer breaks. You can hate on this test if you want it, but we are at a point of existential crisis with youth fitness, wellness, and health right now. It's so bad. Right now, I'm going to read the exercises and standards here. I was going to say,
tell me what they are again.
But 70% of kids that fall into the category of being eligible to take this test can't pass it. 70%. And I mean, there's other statistics out there like some horrifying number, like 85% of military age people in America don't qualify for the military based on some factor, either physical or emotional, mental, or both. Yeah. Of course, we've prescribed SSRIs to everybody on earth for the last 20 years. But so the presidential fitness test, school-based youth assessment designed to measure cardiovascular endurance, muscular strength, agility, and flexibility. I feel like all those things are pretty important to have a nice, well-balanced, life. The exact exercises and benchmarks vary by age. Typically for ages 6 to 17, it historically consists of 5 core components. Cardiovascular endurance, which is a 1 mile run or a 20-meter beep test, which I think is where you run back and forth. And
we call it a shuttle run.
Yeah, it's like a shuttle run.
I think so.
Upper body strength and endurance, which is pull-ups, push-ups, or right angle push-ups, which I actually had to look up. I didn't even know what that was. I think that's just like a flexed arm. Plank.
Yeah,
it's like a half plank or something.
For girls, it was chin-ups. It was chin-ups.
Well,
but
girls
then it
had
was
flexed arm hang.
Right. But you said, to me, pull-ups is overhand.
Yeah.
Chin-ups, it was always chin-ups. And then the girls could do the flex arm hang. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Core strength,
Sit-ups.
Abdominal endurance, which is sit-ups, or partial curl-ups, which I also had to look up as well. It's kind of like a little baby crunch for 1 minute. And speed and agility, which is a shuttle run. So the beep run beep test is something, 20-meter beep test. I think that is kind of like a shuttle run. And then flexibility, a sit and reach exercise or a timed plank. And the standards.
How is that? How is a timed plank flexibility?
I don't know. The standards are for age 10, sit-ups, 45 for males, 40 for females. Do you think you could do, before you got sick, could you do 40 sit-ups in a minute?
Oh, heck yeah. Would my abs be on fire? Like, yes, but could I have knocked them out? Yeah.
Shuttle run, which is 20 yards, something like that. Well, you're going back and forth. 10.3 seconds for males, 10.8 seconds for females. How about a 1 mile run? For a 10-year-old female, the standard is 9 minutes and 19 seconds. 3 weeks ago, could you have run a 9 minute and 19 second mile?
Yeah, I would have said horrible, terrible words the whole time, but yeah, I could have gotten that done.
I think that because I do interval training, I run intervals instead of running full distances. And one of my training cycles is 90 seconds running, 30 seconds walking, and I'm not running at 90% of my car. I'm probably running at 70%. And a quick walk, so 90 seconds, 30 seconds, you can do a mile like that in
get
this
it done.
time
with
walking involved.
I'm going to say, like, you can trudge along and still make a 10-minute mile, so all you got to do is go a little bit faster.
Now, I'm going to jump down for age 15, because I think this is where you're going to see a lot of failure. Pull-ups for 15-year-old male, 11 females, 2. Could you do 2 unassisted pull-ups?
Right now?
3 weeks ago?
I I was getting pretty darn close.
It's tough. There's a lot. The shoulder girdle has a lot of muscular development in there. And the thing about a pull-up is it's back exercise. Mm-hmm. So if you're not strengthening your lats and those back muscles, those deep back muscles,
could I have done 2 chin-ups? Absolutely. Could I have done 2 pull-ups? Like, can I kip them?
But anyway, the presidential physical fitness test is back, and
okay, but the one that hurts my soul is the sit and reach. What do you talk to me about that one just really quick? Because I remember there was a box and there was a ruler that stuck out on the box, and you had to like you had to reach like so many inches down the ruler or something like that. And I could get within like a half an inch of it, and I couldn't. Yeah,
you got to sit with your feet against a box and lean over. The sit and reach test is a blah, blah, blah designed to measure flexibility, your lower back and hamstrings. Oh my God. Stack your hands on top. Yes. So you sit on the floor with your legs straight in front of you against a box, and you reach, see how far you can reach at all, I guess, but I guess you're trying to reach past your toes. That's what that measures. So I'm very happy to see that that's back because, as I said, I train kids, and for the last 2 years, I've seen stuff that just makes me so sad, makes me want to cry that these kids are basically not functional physically at all, and we really need to do something about that. All right, I'm going to wrap this up with a few things here. How about this one? I'm going to do this. I heard this yesterday, and I thought of you. I was like, "Oh, I can't wait to ask her about this." You worked for, or adjacent to, you worked for the Bears, right? Or at least you worked for the
Soldier
stadium.
Field. Yep, yeah. I was facilities.
Have you heard what's going on?
No, what's going on up there?
The Chicago Bears.
Well, they
are moving.
Yeah,
to Hammond, Indiana.
What?
Your home state.
Last I heard, the whole racetrack was whatnot. Like, I mean, Soldier Field was a nightmare to get people in. Like that whole city with one side of it being blocked off by a lake it creates its own challenges. But yeah, getting people in and out of there was.
The Bears are moving to Indiana. But now I looked this up, and Hammond, Indiana is like 30 miles from Soldier Field. So it's Chicago. It's a Chicago suburb.
Yeah,
basically.
And it's that little corner of Indiana too is on Central Time, like because they just know so many people commute back and forth. There's like anything around the lake on Indiana.
I saw this and I was like, "Whoa, that is crazy!" That's like, I mean, the Bears are OG. They're an original. Bears. Well, they're an original. I mean, pre-NFL team, right? They were an original National Football Conference team, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I think so. Anyway, the Chicago Bears are officially moving forward with plans. So officially moving forward with plans, I think, is a little nuanced from officially moving.
We have a plan to make a plan.
Yeah, officially moving forward with plans to relocate and build a new stadium
but they're still the Chicago Bears.
Yes, in Hammond, Indiana.
It's not like they're the Hammond Bears now.
Although that would be pretty rad. It sounds like a CFL team or a hockey team. After a legislative deal in Illinois collapsed. Now, is there a more corrupt state and city than Illinois and Chicago when it comes to interior politics?
No comment. Oh man, there was one time working at Soldier Field where I had done a whole diagram of this setup for an event I needed, and they came in and they put the tables in wrong. And I walked in and I just like, my face went white and I was like, no. And I had a couple interns with me, and I remember just being like, look, lady, it's fine. I don't know how this diagram and this matches, but I'll just grab the interns and we'll move it. And you can't. You have to have a union. I could not move a card table with a round on it because that's a union job. And I had to have a union person there. And then the liability of me moving a round card table. It was.
So anyway, after a legislative deal in Illinois collapsed, who knows why, despite the change in state, the team will retain the name Chicago Bears. Can you imagine if they said they were going to change that? So now Indiana is going to have 2 NFL teams.
Which is crazy for a state of Indiana. And in those comments, people, give me what the mascot would be if the Indiana Hammond somethings. What would they be? What would the Indiana Hammond
What is there?
somethings?
I mean, like I said, that's a suburb of Chicago, but is it just flat and corn and wheat and whatnot?
No, that's right. So I'm like, it's really close
Still
to Gary.
city?
It's
Still
still,
cityfied?
yeah, it's still cityfied. I mean, it is like the industrial town that's right there. I mean, there's the Horseshoe Casino in Hammond, Indiana, and there's the riverboat. Oh my God, they're the Hammond
Horseshoes.
They're Hammond riverboats.
They're eyeing a development near Wolf Lake in Hammond. The Indiana Governor Mike Braun and state lawmakers passed legislation in 2026 establishing a Northwest Indiana Stadium Authority to help fund construction. I watched a video on this, and essentially they're giving the Bears a deal where they have to lease. They're going to build the stadium with bonds and whatnot, but the Bears are going to be required to lease the stadium for something like 40 years or something like that. And the Bears are going to be able to keep all the revenue that from anything that happens in the stadium, but the city gets whatever the city gets from the Bears. But at the end of the lease, there's a little rider that says something like the Bears, if they choose to, can buy the stadium for $1.
Yeah.
So the Bears are moving. I thought that would be, I mean, that's like, I mean, I don't know Indiana geography very well. So to me, when I saw the Bears are moving to Hammond, Indiana, I'm like, oh my God, the heavens are going to fall. What is happening? And I was like, oh, it's right there.
Yeah, it's really close. But
they're not going to be in Chicago.
Yeah, I don't know. Chicago is not. I lived there for years and years, and it's just not the Chicago I know anymore. But I get it. Like, it was just so much
a nightmare to get in.
Well, it was a nightmare to get in, and it's money. Like, it's just all about money. Like, you can sell more parking. You're going to be able to have more. Like, there was no restaurants and stuff really around that. You had to walk across Lakeshore Drive, which at that point was a 4-lane highway. So there's just nothing there. So to entertain people. So wherever they land it, congratulations, Hammond, I guess. You're going to have to put up the infrastructure because it's going to be like Notre Dame, where the thing, if you notice what's going on in your gas pumps right now, it's like the moment Friday afternoon starts, the dollars that are just influxing in are just going to go up.
Yes, go get it. And it's, Notre Dame being a college town, there's a lot of this throughout the country where there's not a lot around it. I mean, things that, like Auburn, there's a reason they called Auburn, they call it the barn and that cow college and all that, because Auburn was in the middle of nowhere. Now, because Atlanta has grown so much, Auburn's only like 70 miles from Atlanta, if that far. Yeah. So it's right up the road. But at that time, it was so isolated. So the town of Auburn, the city of Auburn, was what was there. And so when you got 90,000 people coming to that one place, that little place, yeah, you try to get a hotel in X place on February whatever, like March 10th. Yeah. But then go ahead and try to get a hotel in a football city in October.
Yeah, he's not doing it.
But it sounds to me like the only thing that I hope, I don't give a shit about the city of Chicago or the city of anybody or anybody's politicians or any of these millionaire and billionaire players and owners. I don't care. I just hope that the people of Hammond, Indiana aren't going to get screwed by this. The people of Chicago aren't going to get, think about the fan base there. I mean, granted, again, they're only going to have to drive down the road a little bit. So it's not like they're like the Rams or the Raiders did and they just kept moving all over the state.
Well, and it might be a little bit of further of a drive, but I think it's actually, just off the cuff, hearing this for the first time, I think it's going to open the fan base up because you're no longer, like, with such limited parking. I mean, parking prices are going to be astronomical. So if you can open this up, if you can make a bigger, more open stadium, you're going to have more tickets, going to drive the prices down. And to me, that's always why I wanted to work in sports and why I worked in sports for so long, is it brings community together. It brings all walks of life, people together. So I hope it's to me, off the cuff, I'm sure there are some really smart or really crooked people that made this decision, isn't it? But,
both, I'm sure.
But it sounds like it could be a really good
seems
thing
to me
for
like,
fans
yes,
and teams.
if it's
and
done right, that the value of the fan dollar is going to be able to go a lot farther, having it not somewhere in something like a place like Chicago, that somewhere with a lower tax threshold and all of that kind of stuff. So hopefully. But every time they build a stadium somewhere, and of course, building a stadium now is like a $2 billion thing.
Yeah.
The taxpayers always end up getting hosed on it somehow. But I don't know. We'll see. I just thought I saw it, and I thought at first I was like, oh my God, the Bears are moving. But then I thought of you, and I was like, not only did you work at that stadium.
I'm from Indiana.
You're from Indiana.
And I've been in sports. I've worked in sports for a long time.
And Northwestern and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All right. That's all I got. What about you?
I'm going to go buy some bamboo socks and go take a nap.
Sounds good. Tacos, pizza, sushi. All right. Peace out, homies. See ya.
Dogs.
Good job. Thanks.
Yeah.
You want to do it again?
Of course. If you just want to sit here and shoot the shit with me, I was actually watching